My name's Daniel Roy, and today I'm going to demonstrate 10 levels of palming cards. Level 1 of palming cards is called the back palm, and it looks like this. Watch the King of Clubs. If I wave it in the air, it disappears and reappears. It disappears and reappears. Now, the name of this technique, the back palm, sort of gives it away. When that king apparently vanishes, it's not really gone, it's just hiding on the back of my hand here until I bring it back around. Now, level 2 is what's called the front palm, palming the card on the front of your hand. It looks like this. It disappears and it reappears. Once again, it disappears and reappears. And the advantage here is you don't have to hold your body at such an awkward angle. Now, levels 1 and 2 are really only useful for magic tricks. If you want to cheat at cards, that brings us to level 3, which is the gambler's flat palm. Let's say I've been dealt this poker hand in a game of 5 card stud, a very old-fashioned game of poker. My whole card, which only I get to see, is the 7 of diamonds. My up card, which all the other players can see, is the king of spades. Now, this is not a very good poker hand, but because I'm a card cheat, I secretly have the king of clubs palmed in gambler's flat palm. So, in the action of innocently checking my whole card, I can switch the 7 of diamonds for the king of clubs here, and now the 7 of diamonds is palmed. Now, this switch looks even better when it's done face up. Watch the 7 of diamonds here as it is switched for the king and switched back for the 7. By the way, if you want to see me perform live in New York City, you can get tickets to my show on my website. And if you want to learn magic, check out my online course, Card Magic 101. Links are in the description. Now, palming isn't just useful for switching cards, it's also useful for what card cheats call playing heavy. Now, the idea here is that you're going to secretly give yourself extra cards in a game of poker. Now, this provides a massive advantage over the other players because you are literally playing with an extra card. Now, to demonstrate this technique, I will need to use a few cards from the deck at random. So let's use these 3. Okay, the king of hearts, the king of spades, and the king of diamonds. Lucky me. Well, I will take these 3 kings, diamonds, spades, and hearts, and I will leave them on the table here. These will represent my current poker hand. And let's just say I need to add a card to this poker hand. Why don't we use this one? Okay, the king of clubs. Again, lucky me. The king of clubs starts on top of the deck, and I have to add it to this poker hand here. And I do this using level 4, which is the classic palm. See, under the guise of squaring these cards and setting these down and picking these up, I just added the king of clubs to the top of this pile here. See, it's no longer on the top of the deck because it's over here. And this, of course, gives me all 4 kings. Now, the classic palm is a very useful technique, a very old technique, but it has some drawbacks. If you can ever see through my fingers, or if I turn my hand the wrong way, you can actually see a card hidden in my palm, and this is pretty awkward, perhaps even deadly at the card table, because you are literally getting caught red-handed. But level 5 solves that problem. Level 5 is called the invisible palm. Now, to illustrate this technique, I'll leave the king of hearts down on the table. Now, if I wanted to palm this card in the classical fashion, it would look like this, and if you can see through my fingers, you can kind of see the card, and it's not so good. The invisible palm looks like this, though. That card is palmed, but invisibly. So you can't see it from this side, you can't see it from this side. It only becomes visible when I place it down on the table. That's when that king becomes visible. Now, for level 6, I'll use the invisible palm again, but this time I will replace it in between 2 other cards. So, I will palm the king of spades invisibly this time. Watch very closely. Can't see it from this side, you can't see it from this side. It only becomes visible when I place it down in between those 2 kings. The king of spades has materialized right here. Now, level 7 is to use the invisible palm, but to palm off the top of the deck. So it's similar to what I did with the classic palm earlier, but invisibly. So I'll place the king of hearts on top of the deck here, and I will fan out the remaining kings. Now, just to make things even more difficult, I'll palm off the tabletop. Watch closely. I will palm straight off the tabletop. So it's held here invisibly. And I know what you're thinking. It's not right here. No, it's here. It's held here invisibly, and it only becomes visible when I place that card down on the table. That's when that king of hearts becomes visible. Now, however useful the invisible palm is, you do still have to physically transfer the card across, even if it is invisible to the naked eye. But for level 8, I'll show you a technique that allows you to swap cards without even bringing your hands together, without even having to move your hands at all. So, Let's use a card at random from the deck. In this case, okay, the 3 of diamonds. I'll place the 3 of diamonds down here on top of the king of clubs. Now, we're going to use a few cards from the deck. We'll use these 3 and place them on top of the king of hearts here. Now, I'm going to put the king of hearts into the middle of its pile. Watch closely. Now you see it, and here's the switch. I don't even bring my hands together, I just cover the cards for an instant, and the switch is accomplished. Because you'll see that now that king of hearts is gone, and it has been replaced by the 3 of diamonds. So if the 3 of diamonds is over here, the king of hearts should have arrived. Okay, for level 9, I'll demonstrate the same thing, but only using one hand to accomplish the switch this time. So the card to remember is the 7 of clubs. Remember the 7 of clubs, which goes down here on top of the 2 kings. Again, we'll use a few cards from the deck. Let's use these 3 here. Now, this time, I will once again reverse that king in the pile. So I'll place that king of spades face up in the pile, but I will leave it sticking out until the very last moment. Now, as I said, I would just use one hand for level 9, so watch with just one hand. I don't even have to cover this card. I just covered this card for an instant, and the switch is accomplished. Because now over here we have the 7 of clubs. And if the king is gone and the 7 of clubs is over here, then the king should have arrived over here. Okay, let's use one more card from the deck here. Well, actually, we don't need any of these cards for now. I'm going to turn the kings over, and I'll leave them down here. We are going to use 3 cards from somewhere in the deck to place on top of the king of diamonds. Now, the card to remember this time is the ace of hearts. Remember the ace of hearts, which goes on top of those kings. Now, for level 10, I will cause this king of diamonds to switch places with this ace of hearts without even touching the cards. This king of diamonds switches with this ace of hearts without even touching the cards. Watch closely. Did you catch it? Because the king of diamonds is gone. It should have left this pile completely. Okay, well, maybe it didn't work. Let's try it one more time. Did you see that? Because then the king of diamonds should be gone now. All right, I have to be honest, I actually lied to you. Level 10 is not switching the king of diamonds and the ace of hearts without ever touching the piles. No, level 10 is to switch the entire pile. Because over here, not only do we have the king of diamonds, but also the king of clubs and the king of hearts and the king of spades, which means in my pile here, I should have all 4 aces, and that is 10 levels of palming cards. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you like this video, please give it a like, and if you want to see more, consider subscribing to the channel and following me on social media. If you want to learn magic, check out my online course, Card Magic 101, and if you want to see me perform live, you can get tickets to my New York City show or book me for a private event on my website. Links are in the description. See you next time!